I mean, I think one of the pieces was, especially if you look 10 years ago, like it was a particular book titled Predictable Revenue that said
Mhm.
cold calling is dead, long live cold email. And the truth of it was cold calling wasn't dead. But if you were, and now again, the context here, this book was written in 2010, maybe 2009, about between 2009 and 2010, about Aaron's experience at Salesforce in 2005. And at the time, you could send an email and get a 10, 20% reply rate. And so
Mhm.
if you can send a single email and get a 20% reply rate, like you're foolish if you're making any cold calls because it's extremely efficient to do it over email. And so that was the kind of eye-catching way of saying, hey, cold calling is dead, or that's the reason behind it. Fast forward to 2025, that is no longer the case. And so we're going back to the fundamentals because these channels that used to be hyper efficient don't work as well as they used to because people found out, hey, 20% reply rate's amazing. And then all of us dirty sales folks piled on and made it worse and ruined it for everyone and ruined email along the way. You're welcome, world. But now we're going back to, I think it's put us in the mindset of this generation of folks that are used to things coming easily. And we've forgotten about the fundamentals. I was lucky enough that I was lucky enough that my first sales job, sales training, was somebody plopping the BC Book of Businesses down on front of my desk
Mhm.
next to the phone and say good luck.
Yep.
And literally it was not the yellow pages. It was like a version they paid for. So thank God for that because it had the business owner's name. But that was it. My CRM was like crossing lines off of like, yeah, I've called this page. I've called this page. I had like a method for like circling the person who I got to connect with. And then I would like write it down and put it into a sheet to email my boss, or I'd like circle a funny name that I found in the phone book and take a picture, send it to my friends. I still got a few of those in my phone. They are very, very immature and I won't bring them up now, but I can imagine you might be able to guess what a, 19-year-old version of myself might find hilarious. So yeah, but I think folks that didn't grow up with that, abuse of having to just call from a phone book, don't appreciate everything that goes into a modern go-to-market. And I think what we've seen in the last couple of years is modern go-to-market has changed dramatically from this thing that is this huge, massive process, and you exist as like, an individual plugged into the matrix. Now we're kind of going back out into the wild. We kind of broke that system. That doesn't work very well anymore. And so you've got to go out and be a real sales human and actually talk to people and actually engage. And I think one of the things I'm seeing work the best lately is this relationship first approach, where you're not just reaching out and saying, hey, can I sell you some shit? You're like, hey, let's establish a relationship. Let's see if there's anything that you're struggling with.